Hi guys, and welcome back to Belle's Books. Please don't forget to click subscribe and like this video for more content like it. Every single time I get a new subscriber, I am just so excited, and I'm so grateful to everyone who chooses to subscribe to me and watch more of my content. So today I'm going to be talking about how I take notes on books. There are a couple different steps in, I guess, my note-taking process when I'm reading a book, and this differs slightly depending on whether I'm reading non-fiction or fiction. So I'm going to kind of primarily be talking about non-fiction today, but I think that the things that I talk about are still applicable to taking notes on fictional books as well. So let's get straight into it. So in my opinion, taking good notes on books begins with a really good identification of what sources are going to be useful to my research. So I identify those and I write them out and I figure out how long I think it's going to take me to read each one. And then I go onto my calendar and I kind of schedule that in for my day so that I can get through everything I want to read and also not spend too long on something that isn't as important as something else. So that is how I kind of set myself up for a productive day of reading in the first place. So my reading process involves 2 reads, and the first read of the book that I do is one on paper. So I take the book and I take sticky notes and I read through it rather quickly, kind of skim reading, and I find the important sections and quotes that are really relevant to my research, and I mark them with the sticky notes, sometimes with a little note reminding me what exactly was so important about that particular page or quote, but sometimes just kind of using the sticky notes as a bookmark. So you can kind of see me doing that initial read right here. You can tell I'm reading pretty quickly. I'm not spending too long on this particular read through. And remember, when you're reading your book, there are going to be pages which are relevant to your research, although interesting. There are going to be whole chapters sometimes which are irrelevant to your research. So for those kind of moments, you might want to just summarize an entire section or chapter so that you can take note of the page number, but you don't have to take detailed quotations down later on. But then again, some pages and sections will be super relevant to your research, so that's when you're going to want to use very detailed sticky notes, so that when you take your notes later on, they can be really specific. So when I finish taking my notes, my book ends up looking like this. Every few pages has a detailed sticky note pointing to a certain page or section that I need to go and take proper notes or write down quotations for. And I do this note-taking and quote writing in Notion most of the time. I create a page for each research project or essay. At the bottom of the page, I have in a toggle list, which means a kind of drop-down menu, all the notes on different secondary sources. So here you can just see me showing you an example of what that might look like. So there's the citation for the source, and underneath it all the quotes and notes that I have taken that I found particularly relevant for it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and type up all the notes and quotes from the book that I'm reading right now into Notion. The first thing I do is type up an MLA citation for my book, because keeping track of your sources is absolutely vital for research. And my notes might be specific quotations that I think are powerful and I should cite in my essay, or they might be more general summaries of pages or chapters that I think it's really important for my essay to completely understand the argument of, so I can kind of refer back to that later when I'm writing it up and summarize it in a paragraph to give some context, for example. And here we go, that's what this looks like for the book that I've been taking notes on in this video. You can see there are a lot of notes here, and there are some quotations like this one, but there are also some kind of summaries of certain pages. And then of course I get to come back to my original to-do list and cross it off, knowing that I've understood the entire book, taken notes on everything important, and cited it properly for later on. And quick time check. I estimated correctly how long it would take me, which is fantastic and something that you really do get better with practice over time, and you don't necessarily nail in a day, but it is a really good habit to develop. Thank you so much for watching until the end of the video. So to summarize, take initial notes and mark important parts of the book with sticky notes. Type up your notes. When you type up your notes, type up quotations, but also summarize key arguments. Also, don't forget to include full citations so that you don't have to do it later. And finally, time block your time to set yourself realistic, reasonable goals to help you manage your time, get organized, and not spend too long on one particular task when you have a lot of reading to do. I really hope this video has helped you understand how to take notes on a non-fiction book, and I think these things and these tips and this method can totally be applied to fiction books as well. But yeah, it's just a fantastic way of doing things that keeps you organized, on track, and helps you recall all of the information that you need to. Don't forget to click subscribe and like this video for more of my content. Leave me a comment down below if there's any other videos that you would like me to make. And of course, you can follow me on my Instagram at Bell's Books for more regular updates about my reading and my study life. Have a fantastic